everyone and welcome. In this reading vlog, I'm going to be mood reading from my March TBR. So I decided just to mood read this month because my March TBR turned out really good. It's like all highly anticipated reads, a few 5-star predictions, so I might as well just read what I got. I'm really excited about it. But first up, I'm going to be reading Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. And this is a prequel to the Letters of Enchantment Divine Rivals duology. But this takes place long before Divine Rivals, I'm fairly positive. But we still see some familiar elements in this. And this is a 5-star prediction. I read 4 of Rebecca Ross's books and rated all 4 of them 5 stars. So, I think it's a pretty safe bet. I'm going to love this as well. So I'm about 25% of the way in. I don't know if you can see that. And I am enjoying this so far. I am loving seeing some of the little bits that I'm recognizing from Divine Rivals. Like, the world feels familiar but more detailed, specifically from the second book in that duology. And we get to learn more in this one about the magic system and the Skyward and Underling realms where the gods are. This has that same beautiful descriptive writing style that I love. This is multi-POV. It is largely Matilda so far though. But if you don't like multi-POV, maybe this one isn't for you. I'm already loving our characters. I'm loving Vincent, I'm loving Matilda, I'm loving Bade. And we have just gotten some big twists in this story. It is starting to pick up. I am really excited to continue. So I'm going to keep reading and I will be back when I have an update. I'm about 60% of the way through now. I'm not sure if you can see my bookmark, and I'm really enjoying this. I feel like I've just fully got invested. The other books in this series and the other books of hers that I've read, I feel like I was invested immediately. This one did take me a little bit longer to get into. It's a bit slower, but I did definitely end up invested. I am very invested in it as of right now. But this one has really great tension and yearning. There's a good slow burn in here. And I'm really starting to enjoy them as a couple. I really liked the whole plot line with like him dreaming of her and then meeting in dreams. I thought that was really sweet. But now like getting to see them actually together, I'm really loving them. I'm also really loving seeing little bits of the Letters of Enchantment, like that main duology, seeing little bits and pieces from that. Like we see some of the gods that are mentioned in that duology. We're learning more about the magic. We get to learn more about some of the events that are mentioned in that duology, and I'm really loving that. This one does feel more romance forward to me than her other books. That may change because things have just started to pick up plot-wise and gotten really exciting and tense, but as of right now, this does feel more romance forward, which isn't a bad thing, but if you are someone who doesn't enjoy that, maybe this one isn't for you. But I'm having a great time, and like I said, the plot has just gotten really tense and exciting, so I am very excited to continue, and I will be back when I have an update. I've finished Wild Reverence, and as of right now, I'm giving it 5 stars. I kind of go back and forth between 4.5 and 5 because I love this, but it is a bit slower in the beginning, and it took me a little bit longer to get into than it typically does with her books. This one is also more romance focused, I feel, than her other books are, which isn't something I usually love, but the romance in this one was incredible, so it worked just fine for me. They just have so much longing and love over so many years. They have a really beautiful story. Like I said, the first half felt a bit slow, but the second half had me hooked. And by the end of it, the first half felt necessary. It didn't feel like we were wasting time on unnecessary things and unnecessary details. By the end of it, it felt like what I had read was important. The slower bits I felt like had a lot of foreshadowing, details that would be important later, stuff like that. I didn't feel like I had wasted my time. And really the only time that a slower book bothers me is if I feel like we're wasting time and dragging things out for no reason. So I'm not really bothered by it, and I absolutely loved the characters in this. Matilda, Vincent, Bane, Nathaniel, they were great. It's also really fun to see some background and setup for what ends up happening in Divine Rivals. And as usual, I absolutely love the writing in this. I love Rebecca Ross's writing style. And I will say this is probably my least favorite of her books so far, but I still loved it. But I definitely recommend this if you want a slower, beautifully written book with an incredible romance. And there still was an interesting plot in this one. I just felt like the romance was more important in this. The next book I decided to pick up is Lady of Darkness by Melissa K. Roerick. And in this one, we are following Scarlet, who is an assassin. And she has been sent to live in a manor with some nobility. Why, I'm not sure yet. But during her time there, she is offered an assignment by the assassin lord. And her payment for this assignment will be revenge against the Fae Fire Prince that killed her mother. And then some children from the area she lives in start to go missing, so she joins in on trying to find them. And I am enjoying this one, but I do feel like I know where it's going. I mean, so far it's, you know, a pretty typical Fae romantasy, but it is fun and it's a pretty fast read. There's definitely some world building, but it's not super hard to understand. The FMC in this one is not my favorite so far. She is kind of annoying and bratty, but I mean, I don't hate her. She's not my favorite FMC. And there are some things that are just feeling a bit repetitive and drug out. Like we have this kind of argument with what I'm assuming is going to be the MMC, and they keep having the same argument over and over, and it's not really going anywhere, and it's just kind of like, okay, we need to get to the point now. But some things have been happening that I am definitely intrigued by, and I'm having fun with it. I don't foresee it being like a 5-star, maybe a 4, 3.5, something like that, but I'm happy with that. I'm having fun, and I'm excited to continue reading it. So I will be back when I have another update. So I'm about 75% of the way in, and I'm still having fun with this one. It reminds me of like ACOTAR and Throne of Glass mixed, but I mean, I don't like it as much as either one of those just because I don't love the writing in this one as much. I like the world building. I think it's pretty detailed and interesting, but not super complicated. But I did enjoy learning about all the different areas and what goes on there, how things work. The writing style just feels a little weird to me. The writing style feels like more of a fun read. The two main characters, there's a lot of banter, stuff like that. And up until recently, I felt like with more serious moments, it did a good job of kind of shifting the tone to be more serious. And then we got this conflict where it felt very strange. It was a huge deal what was going on, and it was just kind of brushed over. The way every one of the characters handled it felt super weird. At first, they were all really angry, and then they just kind of were laughing about it, and then they were really angry again. Our main character, Scarlet, was like enraged, and then all of a sudden she's just kind of like, okay, we'll talk about it tomorrow. And then the person that Scarlet, our main character, is arguing with is just kind of flirting with her, and then he drops this huge reveal on her. And then after he says it, she's obviously still mad about the first issue, and he's like, you're still talking about that? Why are we talking about that? Of course she's still mad about that. It's a huge deal. And it was just weird to me because there was this other conflict that was stretched out for chapters and chapters that did not feel nearly as serious. And then this one we're just gonna brush right past. So the writing style of this book is a little bit clunky. It definitely can get repetitive at times, but this has been a fun read. It holds my attention well, it's entertaining. So I'm just kind of trying not to look too closely at things and not to take it too seriously. There was just a huge reveal that definitely really shocked me. As far as characters go, I did say I didn't love Scarlet, but she is growing on me. I'm starting to like her more. I feel like this is really set up for the rest of the series, as the first book often is. I have really high hopes for the rest of the books. I think they're going to be really fun. I think we're going to get to see more of the magic in those ones. So I'm still guessing a 3.5, which isn't bad, but I was hoping for higher, but it's still a fun time. I'm definitely enjoying it. So I'm going to probably finish this one, and then I will be back with my final thoughts. I have finished Lady of Darkness. I'm going to give this one 3 stars. I had a good time with it, but it's not a favorite. I feel like this was a good setup for the future books. I have a feeling this series is just going to get better as I go. I liked the world building. I liked learning about the different areas, how magic works differently in all these areas. I also felt like there were some interesting conversations on rewriting history and writing history to fit the narrative of the people in power. And I will say that 1 or 2 of the twists did get me, but it overall is pretty predictable. It's a pretty standard Fae romantasy, but I mean, I love Fae romantasy, so I thought the writing overall was fun. I enjoyed it, but there were times that it felt kind of repetitive and awkward, and there were definitely parts that just kind of felt drug out. These MCs are not my favorite. I don't hate them or anything. I just don't feel super attached to them. Scarlet I kind of go back and forth on. At the beginning, I felt like she was just kind of bratty and annoying, and then she started to grow on me, and now I'm kind of unsure of her. And the MMC I liked, but by the end, I'm kind of unsure of him as well. But we'll see. I could see both of them growing on me. And there are some interesting side characters in this one. But overall, this was just more of a fun read for me. Nothing too super serious, nothing I see being a favorite, but I definitely want to continue, and I do have a feeling I will like this series more as I continue. But I will say, even though I say this is a fun read, there are some dark topics in this book, so be aware of that. It's just more so the writing style that felt like a fun read. But if you like Fae romantasy, I think you would like this. But next up, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to read, but I think I'm going to do Jade City. And this is following one of two crime syndicates. And this is set on the only island that produces magical jade. And this jade can give certain people magical abilities. And then a war starts out between the two crime syndicates on this island. And I've really heard nothing but good things about this, so I'm excited to get to it. I feel like it'll be really different for me. It's an urban fantasy. I don't really read a whole lot of urban fantasy. I think it'll be fun. But I will be back when I have my first update. So I'm roughly 25% of the way in, and I'm liking this so far. I'm definitely intrigued. The world building has been really interesting. This magic system with the jade is really unique. I've also enjoyed learning how these crime syndicates work and how they're set up. So all of that has been really interesting. I've also enjoyed seeing like the family dynamics between the actual family members. Like we have two brothers, a grandpa, a sister, and a cousin, and all of their dynamics are different, and it's really interesting to be able to see all of that. And I feel like the characters are really well done in this. I find them really interesting. I'm not really attached to any of them yet, but I do find them really interesting. But I'm gonna keep reading, and I will be back when I have an update. So I'm like 60% of the way in now, and I'm still having a good time with this. It definitely feels more plot driven and slower, but I'm really enjoying the writing in this. It's really well written. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but this is a multi-POV third person, so if you don't like that, then this isn't for you. But up until now, we've gotten a lot of world building, learning about how these crime families work, getting to know all of our characters, learning about the magic system, and kind of smaller moments of conflict within the crime families. But now things have just really started to pick up. Things have started to get tense, and I think things are about to get really exciting. I have a feeling this is one of those type of series where this first book is more just a lot of world building and is a little slower, and then I think the next two books are going to be really exciting. But I am very excited to continue reading. I'm going to finish this tomorrow, I believe. I may be back before then, I'm not sure, but either way, I will be back when I have an update. I've finished Jade City, and I'm going to give it 4 stars. I've really enjoyed this. I thought the world building was really good. I really enjoyed the magic system with the jade. I think it's really unique. And we learn about all of the different abilities that the jade gives the people that are able to use it. I found that really interesting. I think the characters were really well done. They had really interesting dynamics with each other, and the family dynamics were really interesting. I thought this political system was also really well explained. Both the actual political system and how the actual political system and the clan political systems kind of are intertwined. I also did really end up liking some of these characters, but I did feel like this book is definitely more plot driven and it's slower, so if you're not interested in that, then this probably isn't for you. Like, this is not a romantasy. There is really no romance in this book. So if you're looking for a romance, this one is not for you. I think it was really well written. I think it flowed nicely. I think things were well explained without being like overly detailed. I feel like this was a really great setup for the rest of the series. There was interesting things that happened in this book too, but I really feel like it's going to get exciting in the later books. So if you're looking for an urban fantasy with a unique magic system, then I definitely recommend this one to you. That is going to be the last book in this video. Let me know if you have read any of these books in the comments below. I will leave my Instagram and my Goodreads in the description if you're interested. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And I hope to see you all in the next one.